All right, I'm the Flat Rate Master, and today we're talking about your credit and being a flat rate technician. All right, so we all know in this day and age, you want to buy a truck, or you want to buy a toolbox, you want to buy a scan tool. Unless you're on Dave Ramsey's plan, you're probably going to need some credit. And unfortunately in this business, with our paychecks being flat rate, could do this. I've made many videos on the importance of having savings on top of savings, so you've got backup money and backup money to back up the backup money in case things get really bad. I'm not going to bore you with that stuff, but we're talking about credit today. Anytime you talk about buying a toolbox or anything like that, the first thing somebody talks about is the interest rates you get on the tool truck. You bought a Snap-on toolbox, you're paying like 20% interest. Okay, well, two things with that. One, if they're paying 20% interest, they have pretty bad credit. Or they're getting screwed by somebody, but probably have really bad credit. Two, just a side note, or poor credit utilization, you're high risk because you have a lot of credit card debt. Normal credit factors go into deciding that. But on that note, no, you're not getting 2% APR from Snap-on Credit, Matco PSA. You're not getting ultra great interest rates. No. Why? Because a lot of technicians default. You get young kids that come into this business, buy a big toolbox, and decide 6 months into it they don't want to do it anymore, year, 2 years. You have a lot of defaults, and a lot of defaults where they can't collect. Toolboxes where they leave and then they can't get them back, and it's just they have to write it off. That's why the interest rates on the tool trucks are not going to be super great. But there is options. When it comes to credit, there's always options. Now, if you've got really good credit, you can go to a bank and get a unsecured personal loan and buy your toolbox. Or, if you're trying to be, not buy the tool truck, go to Extreme Toolboxes, get a personal loan and buy an Extreme Toolbox or a Harbor Freight, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying go buy a big toolbox. I'm saying there's options for buying it other than pulling out the scratch and putting it on the table. But it's important, as anybody in this society, credit's important. If you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you need good credit. So obviously, the easy things. Pay your bills on time. That's a simple one. You know how you get really bad credit really fast? You pay late all the time. You can go from an 800 beacon all the way down to a 600 really quick, not paying your bills on time. So, make sure you pay your bills. Put a reminder in your phone when your credit card bill comes out. Pay credit card before it goes, But there's also other options. Let's say you're looking at buying a new picoscope or a scan tool. There's these things when you got good credit, 0% APR credit cards. Now, you have to be very conscious of the fact that you got to pay it off in a year. So you can't go, I'll pay it next month, I'll just pay the minimum this month and screw it. No, you actually have to pay it off in a year, otherwise you get all the interest. But that is an option. If you've got really good credit, you can take out a 0% APR credit card that has a year of no interest, buy that scan tool, and make payments like you're making on a tool truck. $40, $50 a week, pay it off in a year. As long as you got it paid off in a year, 0 interest, free loan. On the tool trucks, because of that high default rate, yeah, you're going to pay higher interest. Either look at another way to finance it, pay cash, or don't buy it. On that note, please do not get too far into debt with the tool trucks or credit cards. You know, I talk a lot about the tool trucks. I've done many videos. I'm not getting too far in debt with tool trucks. Don't get in a lot of personal debt. Don't, get that credit card and go, slide. Or nowadays, stick it in. But don't get in too much credit card or tool debt. It's very important, as a flat rate technician with your paycheck doing this, not to build up a lot of payments. When you're paying $300 a week in tool trucks and your paycheck did this, it's bad times. So be very careful of getting in tool truck debt or general debt. Make sure you can pay all your payments easily, even on a bad week. This is about as far I'm going to get into credit. I'll link a couple channels in the description, really good channels for credit card stuff. And, I subscribe to them, so I like them. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, go see them. They are more experts on it than me, but I maintain 0 credit card debt. My credit cards are paid off usually every week or every other week. And I pay my tool truck bills with my credit cards. But I don't pay interest because I pay them off every week or every other week. I never have credit card debt. My utilization on credit is at like 4% last time I checked, because on credit cards, if you don't know credit, they calculate how much available credit you have, credit card limits, and how much of it you use. I use like 4%, and that's just because they reported before I made a payment, even though my bill wasn't due. So the lower that utilization is, the better your credit is. I use it for points, and if you watch the 2 channels I link, you'll know what I'm talking about. Me and my wife are going to England next year, and I'm hoping to do a lot of it on credit card points. So that's the plan anyway. So that's why I use credit cards to pay my truck payments, so I can get more points. I buy tools with them too. Check out those channels if you're interested. Try not to get in too much debt, tool truck or otherwise. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you're in too much credit card debt, give me a thumbs down. Comments, let me know what you think. And as always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.